Hello and welcome to our special edition of Other Majlis project. I'm Anastasia Lavrina and our special guest today is a member of Azerbaijani Parliament, Samad Seyidov, who is also chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on International Relations and Inter-Parliamentary Ties and the head of the Azerbaijani delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Hello, Mr. Seyidov, and welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. It's a big pleasure for us to talk with you about a special topic for our today's edition. It's EU Azerbaijan cooperation, a new era in bilateral relations. And the first question I would like to ask you is about energy agreement, which was signed between two sides by President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev and President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen on July 18. Please tell us more about the possibilities opened in front of our countries and how two sides may work closely on energy issues and not only.
Thank you for this very essential question. This is really a very special period of time has come to Azerbaijan. Could you imagine? European Union is a major partner, economic partner for Azerbaijan, and we delivered approximately, for time being, for today, delivered approximately 7 billion cubic meters of gas to Europe. And we are going, according to this decision, we are going not only to double, definitely triple our delivering of gas to Europe till 2027 to 20 billion cubic meters of gas. This is huge, this is unbelievable, and this is another vivid example how Azerbaijan is important for European Union and for European countries. As I said, the new period of time of our relationship with European Union has come because of two major reasons. The first one, of course, is a new reality which has been created by Azerbaijan, and especially after liberation of occupied territories, after patriotic war. These new realities is really essential for understanding where we are, in which direction we are going, what we are going to do, with whom we are. And that's the first reason. And the second one is a new reality within the Europe itself.
Alternative sources they're looking for.
Alternative sources, plus crisis of standards, of values, if I may say like that, within the Europe. Because of, first, a war between Russia and Ukraine, which started on February 24 this year, and because of double standards, which unfortunately we can see within the European institutions. This mixture of factors, of approaches, created new reality in Europe and new reality in Azerbaijan. A new reality in Azerbaijan I already mentioned, because we restore international law here in Azerbaijan. New reality in Europe because of violation of international law and values which promoted by European Union because of the war, because of the double standards, because of the approaches and challenges which Europe has. And very interesting, if I may say like that, paradoxal period of time came to our land. And those who are in a very critical position towards Azerbaijan just now try to rethink about the role of Azerbaijan to Europe, about the efforts which Azerbaijan have done for Europe, about the future of relationship between Azerbaijan and European Union.
That's very interesting. I'm very sorry for disturbing you. You know, some experts will say in Armenia and not only are saying that Azerbaijan is trying to use energy potential to change the position of the international community towards Azerbaijan. But to be honest, Azerbaijan is not using but offering the help for the European Union to diversify its energy policy, to find new alternative sources. And I guess what we saw in the recent days, it's a real proof of that. Because immediately after this important visit of Ursula von der Leyen to Baku, Minister of Foreign Affairs Jehun Bayramov went to Brussels, where he held a lot of meetings with European politicians and even with the Secretary General of NATO. And in all of these meetings, the politicians were saying that Azerbaijan is an important and strategic partner of the European Union.
Not only because of energy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Please tell us more about this particular case.
You're absolutely right. And another example of importance Azerbaijan, not only from the point of view of energy, is a visit of a representative of the European Parliament. Because Parliament is always fighting for human rights, democracy and the rule of law. And that's another very important signal, message, that European Union is dealt not only with energy, but with all spectrum of interests which Europe has and which Azerbaijan tried to present to our partners and friends in Europe. This is market economy, this is of course energy, this is good governance, and this is human-to-human relationships, which includes human rights, democracy, rule of law, and the role of the parliament from this point of view is an essential one. You know, the current and modern world is a very dynamic, and it's changing so rapidly. We can see that instead of philosophy of superpowers, new philosophy is coming to the agenda. The new superpower is a public opinion. And from this point of view, what is really essential, that after the patriotic war, after the 44 days war, we not only created new reality, but we are able to explain and to do our best in order to present this new reality to the rest of the world. Just recently, you know about that the flag of the United Nations has been raised in Shusha.
Exactly. Together with Azerbaijani
Together with Azerbaijani flag. And all international organizations, communities, they try to help Azerbaijan to demining, to do their best in order to recreate liberated territories. Of course, it's not enough for time being, but we have been waiting much more.
You think that now the European Union can be more active in this restoration process?
Of course. This is not only because of energy, but because European Union is looking for answers to the questions which they are not able to answer, but Azerbaijan already answered. What kind of questions? International law is prevailing. Separatism, terrorism, and this kind of, if I may say like that, unacceptable for European values, things should be withdrawn from agenda. And we can see that any side, any country which is going to play game with separatism, just now in a very difficult and in a troubled position. And that's why Azerbaijan gave real proofs that if you are talking about international law, you should withdraw from agenda. You should do your best in order not to please those who try to create problems for values which you presented to the rest of the world.
To take out all the double standards.
All the double standards. And that's why, for example, yesterday we have mentioned about that. Yesterday during the meeting between the President of Azerbaijan and the representative of the European Parliament, that was very, very interesting discussions about double standards and about the attitudes towards Azerbaijan.
Exactly, that's my next question I wanted to ask you.
That's unbelievable. For example, European Parliament just recently in March, actually, adopted absolutely biased, one-sided, false, according to false information, a resolution on destruction of so-called Armenian cultural heritage in Karabakh, which is absolutely vice versa. They put things upside down. We lost everything. All Azerbaijani heritage had been destroyed to the ground, absolutely. That's enough to see Agdam or Fizuli or other cities which we just recently liberated. But what we can see, instead of sending experts, instead of preparing the special reports about this vandalism, Armenian lobby and those who are in favor of this not so understandable, if I may say like that, approaches presented as an urgent debate. You know what does it mean, urgent debate? It means that yesterday somebody came with some papers, and the day after tomorrow the parliament is ready to adopt, which is absolutely out of reality.
Of course.
And that's why we call European Parliament, we call our partners from European Parliament to be serious, to withdraw double standards from their activities, to think what we have done for Europe. And for example, for what Armenia is going to do, or what Armenia already has done for European community. We, security, energy security first of all, values, we are sharing the same values. We are doing our best in order to, not only for oil and gas.
Logistics.
Yes, not oil and gas, but for logistics.
Transport communication.
Transport communication. You should take into account that on the north, from the north part of Azerbaijan, the major countries under the sanctions, including the Russian Federation. On the south, Iran also under the sanctions.
The only way.
The only way to Central Asia, the only way to communicate with the East is Azerbaijan. And that's why this is the second. Yes, this is the second. Not only energy, but logistics. The third, which is also very important, renewable energy. You have mentioned about that, and it's really very interesting. We have signed, the president of Azerbaijan and the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, signed the memorandum of understanding between Azerbaijan and the European Union about the intention to increase delivering Azerbaijani gas to Europe up to 20 billion cubic meters. But you know, the program which European Union has, that's a program for renewable energy, which will put in force in 2030.
Yeah.
And in 2030, Azerbaijan will ready to deliver energy from renewable energy from Azerbaijan to Europe. Because we are going to start it now, not only in Azerbaijan and Baku, but in liberated territories.
Of course, we have.
And from this point of view, our cooperation is close connected not only with energy, but with all other things which are so important for Europe.
You know, so it's very interesting. Another important issue which was raised during these meetings, it's about the trilateral statement from November 2020. Two key points are still not being implemented. The first is withdrawal all Armenian troops from the Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, where the Russian peacekeeping are staying now. And the second is opening all transport, logistic, communications on the corridor, as already mentioned, which is very, very important for European Union as well. And considering the growing role of the European Union in cooperation with Azerbaijan in different projects, etc., probably European Union also can make a pressure on Armenian government, saying that we support peace, stability in the region, and all of the points which were signed by your side had to be implemented.
You're absolutely right. We actually have been waiting these kind of attitudes toward Armenia. And plus, we are in favor to see direct communications and negotiations with Armenia. Of course, under the auspices of European Union, under the auspices of Charles Michel, for example. As you know, in December, in the middle of December, 15th of December, will be summit of the Eastern Partnership Program countries. And we hope that the next meeting of the President of Azerbaijan and Prime Minister Pashinyan will be there, because this is really very essential to have direct communication. We are absolutely open to these kind of communications with our Armenian colleagues, but unfortunately, in order to be serious, they have to be an independent. Azerbaijan is an independent state. We have our position, we have our vision, and we try to defend our national interest. And that's why we are so strong with our ideas, our intentions to establish strong relationship with European Union. Unfortunately, we are not able to see the same attitudes from Armenia. Armenia tried to play game with these negotiations. They are coming to negotiation, and then they try to withdraw the ideas which they already mentioned about that. That's why I think you absolutely rightly mentioned. We have this trilateral agreement, and we have exact things which we have to do. And first of all, in order to achieve the peace, of course, Armenia should withdraw military forces from Azerbaijan. Unfortunately, still Armenian military forces in Karabakh, and that's a great obstacle for future negotiations, communications, discussions, etc. Plus, there is exact item about the Zangezur corridor and opening communication. And it's not so fair. Armenians today, they have absolutely, without any kind of preconditions, without any kind of obstacles, access to Karabakh. And Armenians can go and leave Karabakh using Kalachin corridor without any kind of problems. Plus, we gave this possibility to deliver goods to Armenians who are living, because this is our citizens. Goods and other equipment and needs to Armenians who are living in Karabakh. But that's not so fair. We are not able to deliver the same goods to Nakhchivan, to people who are living under blockade. And that's why this corridor is essential one. Everybody is in favor on the words, but Armenia is not ready to fulfill this obligation. And this is obligation. And Prime Minister Pashinyan has signed under trilateral treatment, that this communication will be open. Azerbaijani side has done everything. We already built the railway and road to the border of Azerbaijan, but unfortunately Armenia is not. And from this point of view, of course, we are ready to communicate, we are ready to do everything, but Armenia has to understand their responsibility, because of course we are patient, we can wait, but how long? How long? That's a real question. And that's why this direct communication between Armenia and Azerbaijan under the auspices of the European Union, especially with participation of President of European Council, Mr. Charles Michel, is so important and essential. I said that we have been waiting positive signals from Armenia. Actually, we got some positive signals from Armenia. They already said that they accepted even 5 principles of Azerbaijan for peaceful treaty between Armenia and Azerbaijan, yes. But they just said about that, and nothing they have done about that. That's a problem.
But we need to have more practical. Yeah. One more final question I have to you. It's about the position of some members of European Parliament and politicians in Europe who are saying that there is not enough information about the situation in the region, in Europe, in the United States. I'm very sorry, Azerbaijan is independent government for 30 years. Are they really don't know about the situation?
They are not so sincere with these kind of approaches towards Azerbaijan. Most of them, majority, they quite clearly understand the situation. They are very well educated and clever people. Part of them, unfortunately, under the influence of Armenian diaspora. Unfortunately, Armenian diaspora has absolutely different agenda than Armenia as a state, than Armenians who are living in Armenia. Armenian diaspora, because of war, because of blood, because of the clashes here in this region, got everything. Parliamentary seats, possibilities to influence to the leadership of the countries where they are living. And that's why, with absence of this conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia, they might lose everything. And that's why they are in favor to see more clashes, more difficulties, more problematic issues in our region. And that's why that's a very, if I may say like that, smart tool to show who is a master in the region, to manipulate, to divide, and to rule. And that's why our strong message to our European colleagues that they should withdraw these double standards from the agenda. If they are going to communicate with Azerbaijan, if they can see Azerbaijan as President of European Commission, Madame Ursula von der Leyen said, as a reliable and strong partner, they have to understand that strong and reliable partner deserves absence of double standards
and fair attitude.
And fair attitudes toward the country. Is not possible to communicate with your partner if your partner is not sincere. And from this point of view, Azerbaijan always is absolutely sincere, open. We do not have something to hide. We're absolutely open, especially after war. And I think, as I said at the very beginning of our very interesting discussion, new period of time has come for Azerbaijan and for Europe. We already find solution of some problematic issues which we had here in this region. And I think Europe has come to the period of time when right answers will be answered in the nearest future with relationship to Azerbaijan. These fair attitudes will be in favor of Azerbaijan and European Union.
Exactly. Let's hope. And thank you so much, Mr. Seyidov, for joining other Majlis today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Just to remind you, watched other Majlis Media Project. I'm Anastasia Lavrina. Stay with us and see you in the next edition.